Now, there are just 2 races remaining in the 2025 F1 World Championship, and just 24 points separate the top 3 drivers. Lando Norris leads the way with McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri and Max Verstappen behind him in 2nd and 3rd respectively. Verstappen won last week in Las Vegas before both Norris and Piastri were actually disqualified from the race. Let's head to Qatar now and join Craig Slater and Karun Chandhok this morning. A good morning to both of you guys. So the 3 top drivers seemed fairly calm yesterday, fairly relaxed given how close the championship is at the moment. Is that still the case today?
It's an interesting question. Is what Karun and I were actually just discussing before you joined us. How should Lando Norris be feeling? How should Oscar Piastri be feeling? How will Max Verstappen be feeling? I mean, Lando's got that 24-point lead, Karun. Will it feel like 1 point, 5 points? Not much, not as much as it actually is, maybe.
Yeah, I think. Listen, he's in a good position. You know, we've got two weekends to go. We've got a sprint this weekend as well, so an additional race. He's honestly just got to continue doing what he's been doing, because if he finishes in the top 3 in all of these remaining races, he will be world champion, irrespective of where the others finish, right? So, and he's been on a great run of form. You'd have to say since the summer break, you know, he's had the upper hand on Oscar Piastri within the McLaren camp. The Verstappen charge has sort of been nipped in the bud in Interlagos, where you know, Lando took home 33 points, a maximum there, and that sort of broke the Verstappen momentum. I know Max won in Vegas, but I still think this will be a weekend where we'll see Lando, you know, at least, maybe he won't seal the title, because Max will be strong here, but it will strengthen his hold.
Okay, well, if you're Oscar Piastri, he's someone we haven't talked so much about because he's fallen away so badly off the podium for 6 straight events. Has he still got to be thinking, little lifeline thrown his way, 24 points behind, not 30, which is what it looked like at the checkered flag in Las Vegas. With that in mind, and yes, the McLarens have raced pretty cleanly so far this season, has he got to take whatever chance comes his way, even if it's a kind of half chance, and could that lead to possibly a bit of contact again between the teammates, the McLaren teammates?
There's a lot of ifs in your question, to be honest.
Well, they're possibles, though.
Yeah, sure. But I think that the biggest problem for Oscar is, as you said, the fundamental pace has gone away. That's what he's really got to try and understand. What's happened since Baku? His form has just slipped away. He qualified well in Singapore, but apart from that, we've not seen the Oscar Piastri that we saw in those dominant weekends in the early part of the season. And where's that gone? What's happened there? Ultimately, if he can't rediscover that form, then he's not going to be in that position to make those, you know, those lunges moves on Lando or lunges or whatever, right? So that's the root of the problem that they need to understand.
Okay, listen, they've both, him and Max, have both got to try and finish ahead of Lando here. If it does go to the last race, is the pressure that exists now times 5, times 10 on Lando? Say if his lead's not 24, but even 17, 15, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if it was up to Lando, he would try and get it sealed, done and dusted here. I think that the McLaren will be strong here, but you know, the Red Bull, no doubt, has improved vastly in this final part of the season. So I don't think it's a given that the McLaren will be the best car here. He's just got to go out and try and beat Verstappen this weekend, and Piastri, of course. But I think if he can beat Max this weekend, the championship is done. That's as simple as that. He just needs, if he needs to outscore him by 2 points, and he will be world champion. For his sake, I hope he gets it done this weekend, because otherwise it will be a fairly stressful week up to Abu Dhabi.
Well, we'll enjoy watching it, though, the neutrals will. Just finally, Karun, I want to get your take on the other big news which we found out about this week. Adrian Newey, the new team principal of Aston Martin. We haven't had your perspective on it. Do you think he's going to do every element of that job and maybe give up some of his designing duties, or not?
I don't think so. I think at his core, you know, Adrian is a designer. He's a leader of a design team, and that's where his strengths lie. Are we going to see him doing the appearances with the media and the fan zones and all those sort of things? Probably not in a way that we see a Toto Wolff doing or a Christian Horner used to do. I think his role will be slightly different, will be slightly more technical, leadership-led. But ultimately, I think clearly he had ambitions of running the A team one day. We know when he was back at Williams in the 90s, he left Williams because he didn't feel he had a seat at the big table. And he's now fulfilled that ambition by being a part owner and team principal. And let's see, next year's a big year for that team because it's the first year where they'll have not just a Newey leadership as team principal, but a Newey influenced car alongside the Honda power unit.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Newey, wherever he goes, championships tend to follow. We're looking at Mercedes being stronger next year, maybe Ferrari will be as well. That adds all the extra pressure to this year's title fight. It might be the one opportunity for Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri to be world champion. That really does set things simmering nicely ahead of these final two events.